when it's pouring rain,
yeah,
I have some of the most fun because then I'm not sound whoring. I'm not worried that I'm making so much noise. There's a lot more. You're running around, you turn a corner and there's somebody there like, whoa, what the because you were both playing and you weren't just sitting there quiet, sound whoring, waiting, aiming at a corner. There's a lot more.
And because he didn't know you were there and you didn't know he was there, it's a fight. You know what I mean? Like you were like, oh, and then it's not an instant one of you's dead. You're like, blah, 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 and you like run back behind the corner and it's a fight.
Saving Private Ryan, like you're in the stairwell with the knife, like click, oh, like you get caught off guard. It feels a little bit more organic.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jesse Kazam.
And I'm Veritas, and I'm really sad that they're going to be removing Steam Audio because I can't play in stereo.
I just couldn't ever get used to stereo.
I couldn't.
What's up?
The 9 layers of irony are like they'll impact us when this goes live.
Yeah.
And then like people are commenting like, yeah, dude, I can't either. I hate it.
Yeah. People that don't even get that it's a joke, for sure.
Yeah, it's been, oh God, the day, man. I played a little bit of Tarkov just because it was like, all right, I was gone. Reason why we didn't have an episode last week, I was gone for 10 days on vacation with my wife. We went to Hawaii. That was dope.
Yo.
I'm tired just from like,
because did you get back yesterday?
Yeah. Jeez. So we left.
Well, I guess, 16 hours.
Left at like 10 in the morning. And then like, it's like 12 hours of flying, 3 hours of driving, layovers. And then, but like I got back in at like 7 a.m. So like, it was just weird. It was like I slept a little bit, did a bunch of traveling. You end up, I think, like a day ahead. I don't know. It was awkward. I'm just tired as. But then, decided to play a couple hours of Tarkov before the podcast just to like see where it's at.
Just get in a really bad headspace.
yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. To see how the progress of my therapy has been paying off. Yeah, and it was a fun experience with chat and with the game. I know the game is just kind of like, meh, it was just boring.
Yeah.
Same played some raids, like got out with some stuff. Looked at all the quests and was like, oh, I don't want to do any of these.
Yeah.
And then, had the whole... I had about like 19 of the like Tarkov community commentary.
Yeah. The squad.
A good example. I'll just give one comment. That's a good example of the kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was, is it true they removed Steam Audio? I saw that in One Peg's video. And it just like the depth, layers of like, oh, I was just like, I actually think I got so flabbergasted that I didn't answer and then forgot. Like it went on so long without me like
your brain was spinning wheels so long that like you just left to another place.
Yeah. So anyway, here we are.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back. When we take a week off, I'm reminded of how many people love the regularity of our content because I had so many people.
I'm glad we're required.
I know. And honestly, I should have done a better job. Once again, I don't think about it like it's just you and me hanging out, but like I should have tweeted out or something. You know what I mean? Because there's like so many people are like, yo, where's that? And I was like, oh man. I posted a video. I posted a Jesse Kazam video on my main channel on Monday, and 7 minutes later, I refreshed it to like some comments, and there were 3 comments, and 2 of them were, "Where's the podcast?" I was like, "Oh, dude, I should have let people know."
Yeah, I like explicitly didn't really talk about it, or even like really remind people, just because like I was gonna be gone for 10 days, didn't really want to be like, hey guys, I'm going to be out of my house for 2 weeks.
For
You know, it's just
sure.
like, just because the internet's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
it was.
I'm just not going to say anything. I didn't post pictures while I was gone until basically like yesterday.
Yeah. I messaged you last Thursday and I was like, we go for the podcast tonight. And you sent me a picture of your view. You're like, nah, dude. And I was like, oh, sick.
Yeah, on the beach drinking Mai Tai.
I was like, but yeah, dude, welcome back. Glad it was good. That's dope. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely feel that same way. I mean, if in the Tarkov land of just like, I get calling it boring. Like, even though I still play it every day, like you said that, and I was like, I get that. Like, somebody came in the chat the other day and was like, I decided to take this wipe off. Am I missing anything? And I was like, no. You know what I mean? I was like, if you're at a place where you wanted to take this wipe off, this is a good wipe to take off.
If
like,
you've played the game before, there's nothing you're missing here other than like experiences.
Exactly. And it's exactly it. It's like if you're like fresh onto Tarkov and like last wipe or the wipe before was your first wipe and you're still like learning the maps and like getting all of those experiences, then you're having fun for sure.
Oh yeah.
But if you were struggling to find motivation to play these past few wipes, yeah. I mean, like the big, you know, like a big part of this wipe was the Lighthouse expansion and the new rogue bosses. And I've been onto the Lighthouse expansion as a PMC twice. And
I didn't even play Lighthouse, actually. I'm like level 10.
Oh.
And I've only played customs and factory, actually, now that you think.
That's actually funny. And I've done 700 raids and fought the new bosses 6 times. So, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like I'm still having fun because what I'm doing is like just goofing off with friends and creating like weird content for the lulz. You know what I mean? We've been doing lots of like offline stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm still having a blast. But when it's like when people come with that energy where they're like, I don't know, man, should I jump back in? It's like, you know, honestly, like probably not. Like there's not a whole lot has changed. You know what I mean? Wait until something kind of groundbreaking happens if you want to, or some of the bigger changes. But
yeah, I don't know. Actually, Chicken Prism is chilling in chat here, and he just had a comment that resonates. He said, "For me, the game was about PvP. It was all about PvP.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem to exist anymore. It's all about hiding and playing sneaky, which is fine. But for someone like me, that's zero fun." Yeah, I agree. Like my favorite moments in the game, I have 1 or 2 like VoIP moments, but VoIP is like the newest, latest thing in the history of my gameplay. So like. I'm too like I just don't care enough right now about Tarkov and like Tarkov content and everything that like I haven't even hit my VoIP button. Like I just don't even really care.
No, I got you.
If I see someone, I'm like, I just want to fight this guy, I guess. But for me, yeah, between like the net code, the movement, and then recently one of the things I noticed today, and I don't know, I'm sure it's a combination of it's been a while since I played.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's... Have you ever played a game where you had like VSync off? You were playing on like a 140 hertz monitor, but like the game wasn't like... I don't know how to describe it. How do I... It just like... I feel like I can't see or follow things. Like even when people are like running, it's just I can't like aim and follow and have it be visually clear to me anymore. And I don't know, maybe it's my video settings, maybe I've got cataracts because I'm old or something, but like it just never looks crisp and clear anymore. And one of the things I put down on my my list was like the brightness. Like I can't see anything, dude.
Really?
I can't see anything.
I just don't I can't tell because I just play it every day. You know what I mean? So I just don't notice. Like if anything's changed or like I bet if I took a bunch of time off and then came back, like I might notice that too, but I just play it every day all day.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it's eye strain. Like if I go and I were to play Valorant or CS:GO, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of like there were times where was it CS:GO? or God, I don't remember. There have just been times where when I remember a few years back when a bunch of us were actually moving to using like higher refresh rate monitors
Yeah.
when that was like a thing.
It's like, oh shoot.
And a lot of us who were streaming at the time too didn't realize that when you'd like go into your Nvidia control panel or your display settings,
Mm-hmm.
that you would have to, let me see, what is there's like some setting that people would always forget to turn off or turn on that would make it so like their frame rate, they weren't like getting the true frame rate.
Oh, interesting.
God, what was it, man? Manage 3D settings.
I don't know. I've never.
Not VSync.
I haven't derped around in like the Nvidia thing much at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It just like it just looks weird. It feels
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It just doesn't feel smooth. It doesn't look smooth. Every other game feels fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember what it is. And then a bunch of people in chat are saying a whole bunch of other things that aren't exactly what I was talking about. But I remember back in the day, like we would get monitors that were like 120 refresh rate, 144, whatever. But their settings, like they didn't update their settings, so they weren't actually getting the higher frames in game. And it just, I don't know if people have ever gotten like really bad migraines, but like that's how it like with your vision. That's like how the games look.
Just now, like that's how you feel Tarkov looks. It's just like, just something's not right.
Yeah. So I don't know. It between like the darkness and then combine in like the recoil and the optics and everything. Like it just feels so awkward.
Yeah.
And like
refined. Unsmooth.
It's like not natural. It's not smooth. It just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel good.
Especially when if you've been playing a ton of a game like Trackmania, which is like ultra, not that there's aiming or anything on it, but it's just like, it's just smooth. It's just so minimal in its aesthetic and so smooth. Whereas Tarkov, there's like dark shadows and leaves and foliage and scope shadow and all this weird stuff.
Yeah, there's like the visual aspect, which is like the contrast is, it's like dark and awkward, plus the people move like stuttery and weird. And everybody keeps saying G-Sync and V. It's not that, chat. Just forget about it. God almighty, why do I even say anything remotely tech related? Because nobody.
Yeah.
Anyways, it just didn't feel great, and one of like the downers for me was like I was thinking, after having 2 weeks off from gaming, not even just Tarkov, but like from gaming, coming and sitting down and playing, I'm like, maybe I'll have a little bit of a different like perspective on Tarkov, or some of the other games, and all it did for me is it amplified everything. Actually, like
interesting.
It reminded me, like, wow, it's been so long since I complained about these things. I forgot about them. Like, I forgot that you can't see. I forgot how awkward it is to move.
I see what you're saying,
and how the weight feels so bad and all of this stuff. And I mean, I know this is going to be hot take controversial. People are going to just say it's bad because I'm bad. And, I'm a grandpa and I can't play the game anymore because I can't. But like, objectively, and I'll, if y'all want, I'm not going to, but I'll make the 19-hour video documentary on defending all of the reasons why I think like the weight system sucks, the movement sucks. It's just so badly designed. It's not good game design. It's not immersive. It's not realistic.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Yeah.
It's just bad. How like I would be like, trying to sneak through the woods. You can't sneak. Would have like no gear other than like a gun and some level 3 armor and an
Yep.
empty backpack, and you can't suck. Sorry, you. I'm like reading chat while I. I mean, you can suck if you want. You can't sneak.
Yeah.
And how sneaking and like covert movement and everything sucks so bad. And then how, if you do get in a fight and then you loot some stuff, you put it in your backpack, and then you're like, okay, and you hear footsteps, so you like don't move.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you're kind of in the open a little bit, like exposed to one area, and you're like, I can't crouch, I can't go prone, I can't.
Yeah.
You can't do anything because you're either going to make a ton of noise,
yeah,
or you're going to prevent your stamina bar from going up. So if your stamina bar is low, you have to sit there. Back in the day, at least you could do the dumb FPS thing, which is like crouch, you know, like make it hard to hit me
for sure,
because I'm just a sitting duck. But instead now, the best you can do is slow lean while your stamina bar goes bloop, 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 bloop. It's so bad.
Yeah, the movement, like, I mean, I'll you're not wrong. You know what I mean? It's like at every step of, with every step of the movement that requires some sort of like qualification or some sort of thing. What's interesting is, like, earlier Chicken was saying, he was like, you know, PvP, it's not so PvP focused anymore. Everybody just plays sneaky. Like, I agree with what he's saying about like combat has slowed down so much, but you can't play sneaky in Escape from Tarkov. You
can camp and hide.
Yes, you can play still, but you can't play sneaky because everything is too loud on the so it's like compression. It's like everything is too loud that you can't be sneaky, and where the game's supposed to be super loud, there's just no audio. So like when people are like running up metal stairs and you just don't get audio, but you can't play sneaky because moving around slowly, it makes so much noise.
Chicken just said, I don't know, I think you can. Chicken, play the game.
Good.
There's no way to move and not make a bunch of noise.
Well, and then he said, I mean, snitting in a bush is what I mean by sneaky. But that's what I'm saying, is that like that you can do. You can sit in a bush, but that's what the game is like pushed us into, because like I would love to be able to play sneaky in Tarkov. I'd love to be able to hit a rotate and then like ditch my backpack so I'm lighter and like actually slow creep and make very little noise. It would, even as the aggressor, even if I was pushing somebody and he was being sneaky, that would make the fights more fun, because you'd actually have to like be aware of your environment and clear areas and stuff like that. But everybody just stays still because everything, when you try to do a sneaky, is so loud, and that creates this like weird artificial skill gap where you can just count on anybody that's newer to the game remaining. If you are aware of where they are, like if you heard them earlier or if you were in a fight with them and they broke away, you can just push them because they're most likely so scared to move because of how much noise they make when they move that they haven't moved at all, and you can just push them and die. And so what that does is it pushes those players into getting into a spot and then just not moving ever. And then you just like fall over dead. And then it's like, it's just so weird because on both ends of the spectrum, like the audio just like doesn't work in so many areas where a dude just appears in front of you. And on the other side of it, you really can't be sneaky. You can't play like very slowly. And then you add on top of that things like, you know, the loot distribution on the maps is such that very specific places are definitely going to be hit by somebody. So if you're a camper, that's the dream, right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I know people are going to be here. And then the balance of the game is that some of the cheapest ammo in the game is some of the most effective at killing people in like shotgun rounds, like buckshot or flechette or something like that. And so you just get this like weird sandwich of like movement is loud, everybody's going to be in this one spot, and you can 2-click anybody in the game with this ammo that's 3.5 rubles per round. So where'd the combat go? Well, that's where it went. It's people who are that they found that to be the way to be effective, to sit, wait, shotgun to the legs.
Yeah.
And it's effective. It works. They don't have to make noise and risk, you know what I mean? They don't have to spend a lot of money on a kit. And it's like, I don't blame those people for doing it. It's effective. And if you're new to this game, it's really hard to learn how to be super proficient in high level PvP. So, but it's just not fun.
Did you see the second to last death I had on customs?
No, I just came in and saw that very last factory raid.
Yeah, so it wasn't particularly egregious, but it was just an example of exactly what I'm talking about. So I was over by like construction. There was a fight going on across the street on the grassy knoll there. You know the area I'm talking about. There's over by the main construction area. There's like the dumpster with the pillar that's like knocked over so you can jump over. So it was across the street from there up on that hill. There was some shooting going on. I think 2 PMCs, and I like ran up to the thing, jumped over the fence while the shooting was going on, like using that try to like cover my sound, make it over under the cover of the gunfight. I ran across the street to like the car with the dead scav lying up against it. And then the shooting stopped. So I kind of crouched and was like, okay, I'm gonna wait, because it's just green pixels in front of you, right? It's just trees, and unless someone's like running clearly,
it's hard to see
really
the contrast.
Hard to see. So then it's like, well, now I've got the whole road to my back. Like, what do? I can't. I crouched and I held control, and I started to walk, and it was like, it's like I can't sneak up on the guy who I'm almost positive is now looting the corpse, right? So it's like, what do? I either just sprint in and hope to surprise the guy, hope he's prone in the body, and he gets up and it's like, oh, and then gets surprised. So what I did, another scav, an AI scav actually walked over towards the guy, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kind of slow crouch, use this. He killed the scav, and I'm like, I couldn't exactly tell where he was, if he had ran away, whatever. So then I kind of just like stayed there, looked, and then like saw a couple of pixels move, and then kaboom, and I was just dead to, I think, a shotgun. And it was like, I kind of saw some movement kind of over in one part of the screen, but like I never saw a guy. I never really heard it. I don't know how to describe it, man.
No, for sure. Like you're saying, in that situation, the current mechanics of the game push you into one of two play styles. It's Shift W, because between Peeker's advantage, the desync of the servers, and the literal coin flip on, if I just run at this guy, will he even hear me? Those things put it at your favor. So if you're a relatively skilled player and you can snap onto people pretty quickly, you end up in that bucket where it's like, oh, there's a guy there, run at him. Or you end up in the bucket of don't move at all or retreat. But truly, that is where we're at. And it's like these two camps hate each other, when nobody really talks about how it's unfortunate that the game pushes us into those two camps. You know what I mean? The people that play slow are so that the Chads and the Shift Ws and they just abuse Peeker's advantage and all this stuff. And those guys get so when they die to a guy with a shotgun in a bush. And it's like, it's frustrating on both ends, but it's like, take a 10,000 foot view. And it's because you really can only pop into one of those two buckets to be relatively successful in the game. Because if you were to try to actually like move slow and walk around, he would have heard you and he would have thrown a nade at you. He would have killed you. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so brutal. And the stamina thing, like you mentioned, is so brutal. It's in such a bad spot. Like you get fatigued, and then that makes your stamina regen even less, like even slower. And it's just like, I can't believe crouching penalizes you. Like, yes, I understood that it was like, people
in real life, when you do a squat, it makes your thighs burn, sure.
And in real life,
as a game mechanic, it's
in real life, if you did 11 squats for the memes, you would be tired. But like the amount of times, you're like sneaking around, you jump in a window, you finally get away from the guy, and you crouch to hold a corner to see like, man, is this guy going to push? And then because you crouched, you're just completely out of stamina. And if something surprises you or whatever, and like, and I think I would bet $100 that whatever metric behind the scenes is like, if player is out of stamina, how long until he starts regaining stamina? Like, how long does player remain at 0% before that bar? They have to have tripled that number. The amount of times I've like been at no stamina and just like looked down in the bottom left hand of my screen and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. It started. Like, it's just like, you can't, you're so immobilized and it's crazy, dude.
Yeah. And if you get on, like, you know, you get on your knee, right? You crouch to regain stamina. If you let it go all the way and then you stand up, well, now you've lost half of your stamina
It's crazy,
again. And it's like,
yeah.
it's such a weird, annoying, arbitrarily punishing system.
And then
what I want from that situation is, it would feel good from a gameplay perspective and an immersion perspective. Let me take slow, controlled steps,
for sure,
aiming down sights, like, you know, scanning to try to find the threat that I know is there.
Yep.
And let me move quietly.
Yeah.
I should be able to walk without making noise. If I'm not in a bush.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know about you, but I can take steps in grass and have it be quiet.
Especially because, like, there's a universe where this stuff like that synergizes with the weight system, where now there's like a reason to like ditch your bag in raid, right? You know what I mean? Like, you ditch your bag while you're running away because you know that when you get to your destination, you want to be able to sneak. But right now it's like nobody really ditches their bag because unless you're ultra heavy, because, you know, even with a ditched bag, even with your underweight, if you're in the green, you're still making so much noise. Why even do that? So it's like there's a universe where these things actually work synergistically, where you have to think, I got into a fight earlier. I killed a guy. I have a bunch of loot. I might not be able to move silently. I have to figure out a way to ditch my bag without giving away my position. Maybe while I'm repositioning, I ditch it on the floor. Now I can move quietly. And it's like, wouldn't you rather die to somebody moving around that you couldn't hear than dying to somebody sitting in a corner that you couldn't hear? At least that guy's like now has the confidence to like try and get to a different position. Maybe you swing the corner and you're like, oh, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And you have a chance. He's not just like absolutely chilling. And once again, the point in this conversation for me is not that if you play that way, it's like the game really does push you into that. It's like, and I want there to be more opportunities to move and to move around. I wish people had more stamina. I wish people, the freaking crouching and didn't reduce your stamina, standing up didn't reduce your stamina. Like, it's just so brutal. And then once again, as per usual, the top end is unaffected. Like, if you have level 51 endurance and start your raid and take a Meldonin and take an SJ6, you just have unlimited stamina for like the next few minutes. You know what I mean? And it's like, and once again, and so if you're good at this game, we've said this many times, like if you're new to the game, it can be very understandable for you to think making money is very hard in this game. You're like, oh, I just keep dying. If you're good at the game, it's easy. It's easier than it's ever been. Everything has value. You know, you can still sell so much on the flea market. You can vendor stuff. It's so easy to make money. So if you find yourself in that bucket, well, then you can afford a Meldonin and an SJ6 every raid because you can buy them off the flea market. And now it further pushes that divide, and it comes across as, you know, skill issue. And I'm not saying the people at the top aren't skilled. I'm just saying it's like, just like we've talked about so many times with the AI, so much of Tarkov comes down to like, are you in the know? You know what I mean? Like, do you know enough about the game to know that if you take a Meldonin and an SJ6, do you know enough about the game to know that this is how to make money easy? And if you do, you can just like steamroll everybody that doesn't. And there isn't so much of that. Like back in the day, it really felt like anybody could kill anybody. You know what I mean? Like that was always the thing that was like such a big part when you would tell your friends, it's like, man, and if you position yourself right and you've got a Makarov, like you can kill the Chad. Like it felt that way. But it feels less and less that way because so many of those things require all this knowledge that you just don't have. And it's I don't know, man. And then that connects to all the other conversations we've had. Like I've been thinking a lot recently about something. You brought this up. I had never considered it before, and now I can't get it out of my mind, which is just like how how much it affected the game that all the LPVOs were added. You know what I mean? Because back in the day, it was like the hammer was the goated scope. You know what I mean? And then
and you saw one,
Mhm.
not, it wasn't, everybody wasn't running it.
Yeah, the PKO6, like, give me actually old PKO6 meta, because at least then people were running red dots. But everyone in the game has, like, they added the TAC 30, they added the Voodoo, they added the Razor. They're all affordable. They're all purchasable on the flea market. They're all completely overpowered. It's like, the movement system keeps slowing down the movement, and then you give people the literal god mode scope, where like a Voodoo or a Razor in the 1X is as good as a red dot. And then with
it's like 1.3x or whatever, which is even better, because it's essentially it's essentially
like
1x,
focus mode.
Focused mode, like you're zooming, you're squinting.
It's almost like the DayZ, you'd lean in. It's like a little bit of that, but with a scope. You know what I mean? So you get that. Point fire is crazy good. Everybody's running around with IR lasers or lasers on, so point fire is great if somebody's super close to you. And then boom, the optics are so good, and they're so overpowered because of the instantaneous click between 1-6, 1-6, 1-6, 1-6, 1-6. It's nuts.
Imagine if you had to reach up and go click, 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 reach back down, and you couldn't shoot while you were in the middle of that thing.
Somebody sent me a Insurgency Sandstorm does that. It's and what's crazy is that like Tarkov could do it without their needing the animation team to animate for every scope on every gun with every mount, because they sit at different heights. Because you know how like when you take a scope off a gun in raid in Tarkov that you have in your hands, what do? He puts it down below your vision, and then he pulls it back up, and the scope is gone. They didn't animate him like grabbing the EOTech, pulling it off, right? That's all they have to do. Where
some hand wavy video game, fine.
And that's fine, because if it's a better experience, you have your gun, you know what I mean? And if you click the snap thing, have it like, it doesn't have to be way like click, 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 focus, like just make it, make me push my gun down and then pull it right back up. And now I have to reacquire the target.
They already have like a subtle little like click where it like goes down like an inch, but still enough to keep eyes on target.
You can watch some of these clips. It's insane, dude. Like where you just like snap 1x, pop, 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 point fire, dude. See a guy over there, click in, 6x, boom, out. You see his buddy, you click right back in on the buddy head tap. Like it's so good, and you removed the veil from my eyes, because now when I use them, when I see other people use them, I can't stop seeing it. I'm like, oh my god, like that affects gameplay so much. They're the most used optics among people that prefer to engage in PvP. I actually did a poll. I'm going to be making a video about this, which is why I'm all heated up about it. But I did a poll recently on my YouTube and on Twitter, and I asked the question, let's say you have an SR25. I already know you probably think the same way. Let's say you have an SR25 and you want to be effective on any map. Would you rather have a red dot with M61 or a Voodoo with M80?
Oh, Voodoo with M80.
And
all day, every day.
9,000 votes on the YouTube, 84% Voodoo M80, and I did it on Twitter.
I'll take the TCW whatever over.
Yeah, and I did the same thing on Twitter, and it was literally, I think 84% again said that they would rather take that. And the point is, obviously ammo, it's not that ammo doesn't matter, but like everybody always talks about the balance between the ammo and the recoil. Like these are the things we need to balance. And like that poll was to like prove the point of like attachments can be as big of a thing. Like no optic in the game, that's actually not true, but no optic people use reduces recoil. No optic, like it's not like it affects the base stats of the gun, but that is an incredibly important choice. And you can feel so much more confident and comfortable with a Voodoo and M80 than with better rounds, depending on the situation, depending on the gun, obviously. And so it's just like when you add that, and once again, to connect it to the previous conversation we were talking about, when the stamina system slows you down, when everything you touch as you run by it slows you down, when the fatigue slows you down, when the fact that you can't move and not make noise, that slows you down. And then you give everybody at the top God mode optics. What happens? Everybody's frustrated that they get one tapped and that they don't fight. There aren't fights. It's like so much of my deaths are AI, 2 taps to the legs or 1 tap to the face. And very few times are you in an engagement where there's firefight back and forth. And then like yesterday, me and Jay were basically just grinding customs. I got a marked room finally. He needs a Willer's wallet. And we were just storms. We died well over half the raids. And at the end of the day, we were like, that was a great day. Because for some reason, the stars aligned and we were just getting into fights. 3rd floor, 2nd floor, oh, I'm dead. Oh, GG's. You know what I mean? But it's like, when you're out and it's just 1 tap, shotgun, 1 tap. It's just like, where's the fight? Like what's happening here? You know what I mean? So the optics thing, I've been thinking about that a lot recently.
Dude, one of the things that I'm sure a lot of people and some people in chat had mentioned it too, the whole idea of like, well, you know, you shouldn't be able to move quietly, blah, blah, blah. Like they like that it makes noise when you move.
Yeah.
But think about this. In real life, and I'm not making an argument about IRL or realism. I'm just saying, think about it. If you had to go through a dead body, a corpse that had a backpack and body armor and a gun and magazines and all that stuff, and take half of that, put it in your backpack, reload stuff, re-equip stuff, change clothing, basically.
Yeah.
What would make more noise? Doing that? Even if you were or walking with a gun in your hand.
Slowly.
You would make so infinitely more noise. You'd hear clink, clunk, 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 like how fucking loud magazines are and all of the metal clunking around from throwing in backpacks.
Especially since you're doing it as fast as you possibly can.
Exactly. Unzipping a Velcro, like.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then think about what it would be like to engage in that whole thing. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a rush, dude, and I'm trying to get out the door, like we're late for something, and I have like socks in my hand, and I got to put socks and shoes on, I'm falling down the stairs. Try in a combat scenario, changing out a vest with magazines and filling one bag from another bag. And then imagine doing that while you are literally on your hands and knees or on your stomach. In tall grass or in a bush. Yeah. It would be like next to impossible.
That's so true. Yeah. Imagine laying prone in a bush and changing your clothes.
I would like it much more if like you have to walk up to the body and you would have to like take the backpack and like move it over somewhere else. Yeah. Like you can't loot in a bush. Like you'd have to take the bag and move it over to like somewhere outside of a bush before you could then open up the UI, you know. Bro, whatever. I don't know. Like
it would be sick if all these things were like, because you and me track for sure. Like that would be like a cool case for body dragging. It'd be cool if you could like grab a body with one hand and have a sidearm in your other hand, and you would like imagine if you were solo and you'd pull it into a room in dorms and you'd close the door. It's because then you could like do your thing, and it's like somebody has to make noise. You know what I mean? You have to hear somebody coming up. The other thing about what you're saying is that like it does not surprise me that you were saying people were like, people shouldn't make less noise. People shouldn't make less noise. That doesn't surprise me, and I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to be It's because it's really hard for people to take the 10,000 foot view and see how many things are wrong with Tarkov's combat. You know what I mean? Like people think I get ratted all the time. If you make people quieter, I'll get ratted more. And I understand that. But I think like if a few things were changed, people would want to play differently. Once again, if because you make noise all the time, that makes you want to move less, i.e. you get ratted more because people don't feel like they can move. If you give them the opportunity to move, then maybe you might catch what would otherwise be called a rat trying to move from point A to point B because he's confident that he can. He didn't know you were coming. Now you're in a fight with a person that isn't in a bush. And I'm not saying every interaction would go that way, but I'm saying it's like this is where I'm at with everything. You can't talk about anything. There are so many things, like
there's so many moving knobs, and you can't just change. It's like balancing anything. You can't change one thing. And to be clear, I wasn't necessarily advocating that looting needs to be super loud. I'm just saying there's so many aspects of it that you could make looting 10 times as loud. You could make moving quieter. There's a million things. All I can say, all I'll say, the last thing I'll say on this is, I know people hate raining. They're like, oh, I wish it would stop raining, and I get why. People need to remove themselves from the fact that they hate rain. When I'm about to say what I'm about to say what I'm about to say, remove yourselves from your malding over the fact that it rains all the time, because this isn't about that. But when it's pouring rain, I have some of the most fun, because then I'm not sound whoring. I'm not worried that I'm making so much noise. There's a lot more. You're running around, you turn a corner, and there's somebody there. Like, whoa, what? Because you were both playing, and you weren't just sitting there quiet, sound whoring, waiting, aiming at a corner. There's a lot more.
And because he didn't know you were there, and you didn't know he was there, it's a fight. You know what I mean? Like you were like, oh, and then it's not an instant one of you's dead. You're like, blah, 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 and you like run back behind the corner, and it's a fight.
Saving Private Ryan, like you're in the stairwell with the knife, like click, oh. Like you get caught off guard. It feels a little bit more organic. And again, I'm not saying rain is good. I'm just saying that's what happens when it's not completely 100% about sitting and sound whoring.
Yes. And I agree with that. And the same thing with airdrops. Some of my best clips have come from like an airdrop's coming. This is a free kill. Just run. You know what I mean? They can't hear me anymore. And you're just like, run, dude. And I'm like, run through dorms, looking. They don't know where I'm at. I don't know where they're at. And if I know somebody's there, like people don't, if you're in a fight that has stalemated and an airdrop comes, I'll calm. The last thing I'll come to my duo is like, this is our shot. I'll take my headphones off and I'll just start running. You know what I mean? Because like, it's like, freedom. The only thing I complain about the rain so much from a streaming perspective, I just can't. It's like, I just can't focus when I have bacon sizzling in my ear. I'm trying to read chat. Somebody does a dono and it's like, and like Seal's like, hey, there's a guy over there. And I'm like, like it's just too much.
But part of that is a symptom though of the fact that you have to jack up your volume.
Yeah.
Because sound is so critical.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I was saying that as I complain because of my situation. I don't think they should change the rain. I just want to be very clear before the YouTube comment. I'm not saying they should change the rain for streamers. I'm saying I complain because of my first world problem. Please God, leave me alone in the comments.
What I just said is every raid 100% of the time it should be raining. And what you said is when you connect if you have streamer mode enabled, then the rain, it can rain, but there's no rain noise if you have streamer mode on.
Yes. God, finally we're getting to the good stuff. We can be who we were always meant to be. But
yeah, dude, I mean,
I agree. You and me, we take. I agree, man. It's
the most intense. Intense. Dude, I can't talk today. This is what happens when I take 10 days off from streaming.
You heal, and then I pull you back down.
I can communicate in real life normally, and then Mike Tyson.
Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
I remember in Call of Duty, COD 4, when you hit level 44, that's when you get dead silent. That's when it would become easy mode.
Yeah.
When you faced anybody that wasn't level 44, it was an instant win. I would bet $1,000 every single time if it was like a 3v3 or a 1v1 cage match. If they weren't level 44, I just win because I can full sprint. They can't hear me.
Yeah.
Like literally you make zero noise and they telegraph their location from across every map. It's easy. But then as soon as I would play, if I was playing cage match, as soon as it was someone, like level 55, 10th prestige or whatever, and as soon as I saw them the first time and I didn't hear them, all of a sudden my heart would start racing because it's like, oh, now it's down to who sees the person first and who can aim and shoot and kill.
Yeah.
It's not. It becomes a different game
for sure
when it's not just, who can hear the other person first. And then the other depressing side of that is there are some times where it's like, where it's even worse because the sound makes you play differently, and then when you especially get like punished because of like the net code and the movement, how I might be running and I'll hear somebody running along like the fence, and I know they're about to come, in front of the fence. So then I'll stop and aim, and I'm like, I'm ready. And all of a sudden they skip across the screen, and then I'm like panic missing because, and so they didn't even know I was there. And then they're able to just look at me, fucking ADS, and then one tap. And it's like, I'm actually even mad. I probably would have had a better chance if I didn't hear them. But I mean, that's just like you get cucked and unlucky in a situation. But yeah, like there's just so many aspects to the game that I don't know what they should do or how they should do it. And at this point, I am enough removed where I'm like, I'm not gonna say this is what they should do. I almost feel like it's not the amount that I've been playing. It's not my game to. I've given all my advice. I've come up with all the ideas. I'm just gonna say right now, as usual, I'm not enjoying playing the game, and a large part of it, again, is made clear to me by playing and being like, oh, it's instantly reminded of all the things, how visually, like the sound, what you hear and what you see sucks in so many ways. Which is 100% of the game. So I don't know.
I get you, and I agree, and that's kind of where we're at. Is like you were saying, like there's so many knobs and dials. That was like the analogy. Like there's just like so many things that connect, and I feel like now more than ever, it's like all of them are set wrong, and for some reason everybody's so resistant to changing any one of them because it'll like make one of the other ones worse. And it's just like we've just, I don't know. I just don't, I guess I don't know what people want, which is, I don't think anybody knows.
They want me to stop complaining.
Listen, I'm complaining just as much, but it just feels like, how do I want to say this? It feels like the experience we have in Tarkov right now is not one we sought out, but it's one that the gameplay and the shortcomings and the bugs backed us into. And then we got used to it, and all of us can agree we hate it. Chads, rats, new players, veterans.
Not all of us.
Yeah, but most of us can agree we don't like it. But then anytime anyone suggests anything, because of how many things are in a rough spot, it ripples across, and all of the smaller tribes start to like, no, but we don't want to change it that way. We don't change it this way. We don't change it that way because this, that, and this. And it's like, and on one end, it's so frustrating. And then on the other end, I genuinely get it because it feels so cucked that changing anything changes everything. And I don't know if I trust those decisions to be made well. And so it's like, it's definitely in a weird, it's just in a weird spot, man.
Okay. And one last thing. A lot of the kickback and criticism that I hear about a lot of my criticisms that I'm like levying at the game, a lot of it comes in the flavor of, well, I or my favorite streamer don't complain about these things, or they don't have these same issues, and then like, therefore your opinion is wrong kind of thing. But here's the deal. Even if I was a god at the game and had 100% survival rate and was the greatest ever, everything I'm saying would still be true. All that, even if what those other folks are saying, even if it's true, all that means is they or Landmark or whoever else they want to say that they have mastered terrible, broken, bad design mechanics. They have become very good at taking advantage of, and I don't want to say like taking advantage of.
I agree with you.
They've become very good at playing
to the system that we have,
to the faults of the system, which is, I'm not gonna like, and no shade at anybody who can play extremely good at a game that's poorly designed.
No, and they will tell you that. That's why earlier this year, I sat down with Rengar and Hyperrat and Tiggs, and we talked about it, and they will admit it. They'll say that. They'll literally say they're like, I don't like that this is the way that it is, but I like winning. So I got, they're really, really good at it. And so like we sat down and we did that, and it was complete. We agreed on everything, like everything. And so it's not just this like frustration that I can't get good at these mechanics. Like I feel fine with how I play. It's even at the top, these guys were saying the same thing. They were like, I don't like they were saying everything that you say. They don't like the movement system. They didn't like the way inertia was implemented. They didn't like it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And then once again, it all ties into everything else. And then you add everything we've said about the movement, and then you add on top of that everything with like the optics, and then you add on top of that everything we've gone through in detail in the past about the audio, and then you add on top of that everything we've gone through in detail in the past about the netcode, and then you add the cheaters, and it's just like it feels like you're chasing down one good raid. You know what I mean? Like one raid where you just like get where things work. And that is just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how long that'll last, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I keep getting asked, what's it gonna take for you to like love the game again? And it's like, here's the thing, like even if they fixed all of the bugs,
yeah,
and even if there were no cheaters, I would still probably just be bored of the loop, which is like, again, this isn't, nobody should take this as me saying Tarkov, terrible game, nobody should enjoy it, nobody can have fun, nobody should play it. It's just, this is just the reason why I'm not playing it, and I'm not enjoying it, which is something I get asked 800 billion times a day. It's more than just, part of it is me, part of it is the game, part of it is the community, part of it is the developers. Just like no part of it. The best thing about Tarkov is what it could be. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Here's the microphone. Let's
drop. But dude,
here you go.
The audio work is coming later this year. Streets is dropping in a few months, and the netcode is better. Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah,
they need loot boxes or like collectible monsters or
NFTs,
like I don't
dude.
know, NFTs. Yeah, some way for me to invest Bitcoin.
They just sold rubles in the game, then they would undercut the RMTers, you know.
Yeah.
Oh
my God! Wait, randomly, I one of the super quick aside related to Tarkov, but also Trackmania. Every day there's one day that's like the cup of the day, the track of the day that gets chosen by like the community, and one of the like legend mappers in Trackmania came into chat today. It was like, yo, there's a little Easter egg in this track, you should check it out. And it was like the track of the day, like last week sometime.
Okay.
And I like had to free cam over to like this tower on this really cool looking map, and there was a sign there, and the signs can be like animated. You can basically have a GIF there, you know, anything you want.
Okay.
And it swapped over, and all of a sudden I see my face, and it's a wanted like a digital wanted poster that said, basically like wanted Veritas for escaping Tarkov, like 31 million Bitcoin or whatever, like wanted alive. It was like,
that's amazing.
It was gold, dude. It like totally was like, what the wait, what?
That's amazing. On the Trackmania track of the day.
Yeah, so
he got out, boys. We got to bring him back in.
Thanks to entry lag for that one. That was hilarious.
Bring him back in. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's just kind of there. Like I said, I'm having fun, and I'm just having the fun I make of it. You know what I mean? Just like goofing around with friends. I didn't think I was gonna get.
Hold on to that.
I know.
Hold on to that.
I mean,
for
that's
as long as you
that's
can, man.
it.
Like
It comes down
I
to being able
genuinely
to
want
play
you
with
to
people.
enjoy. I genuinely like want you. I wish I could, and anybody that plays and enjoy, like 100%.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to be like I'm so happy when Jesse has a terrible fucking day, and I hope he hates the game
Yeah.
so that it, you know, like.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, like what if you watch, you know, a great tell of like the experience that I have is watch, like not telling you to go watch, but if anybody watches my highlight videos on my YouTube channel, they're like 10 to 12% me getting kills in the game. It's like 75 to 80% memeing around with my friends, team kills, Bitbot killing somebody, dying to AI scavs, like, you know what I mean? It's just like we just goof and have fun, and like that it's so little like nasty plays. You know what I mean? And so like that's the fun. You know what I mean? That we're having. It's, I don't know.
Now here's a question for you. Let's say Twitch got deleted tomorrow. You weren't going to do content anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would?
No.
And this says nothing. This says nothing about you or content creation or anything in general. But do you think that you would play Tarkov every day?
No. No.
Huh.
No. But here's the deal, because by being honest, I really cucked myself in the comments. That doesn't mean I don't have fun streaming it.
Oh no, absolutely.
You'll understand that, but I was saying that to the commenters. That you as a content creator, you as somebody who's done this longer than I have, you know that, you get that. But like, but that's not even a secret. At least once a day, somebody goes, how do you prevent yourself from getting burnt down on Tarkov? I go, I stream. Like 90% of the value I get from doing what I do, the fun that I do, is hanging out with you guys and hanging out with Seal or Ben or Velian. And truly, honestly, and I'm not even trying to like be weird or posture here, when Tarkov was at its best, it was still only 20% of the value I got from streaming. Like, I literally, like, when I told the story of why I started streaming, it's because I moved away from all my friends, and I just didn't have anybody to game with, and I wanted homies to hang out with. So, like, if you look at it through the lens of, like, a game has to make you money, streamer, so you play a game you hate and hate your job, but you make money, so you pretend it's fun. Then
that's very bad way of looking at it.
Exactly. But if you look at it that way, when you hear me say, no, of course I wouldn't play Tarkov every day, you go, oh,
and
we
you're just
got him.
Still doing it for the money.
We got him. No, but it's like truly, you could interchange any game. 80%.
I wouldn't do what I do if I wasn't streaming, even though I enjoy playing Trackmania, because they're just different.
Yeah.
It's different things. It's
for sure
doing like what you want, and doing what you want on a show to be entertaining for people. They're very rarely, you know, like they're very rarely the same thing. If you have people over, you're not gonna cooking dinner, right? Like, just because if you weren't having company over doesn't mean that you wouldn't cook this meal that you're making for all these people that are coming over. It doesn't mean you like don't enjoy the meal, and it also doesn't mean that the thing you would have eaten otherwise would necessarily be better. It's
no, for sure. So it's like, and to Chicken's point, there isn't even really anything necessarily wrong with not liking your job and doing it anyway. Like, if you truly didn't like the game, it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, for me, the value I get from streaming is from hanging out with my community, gaming with my homies, and a huge value for me personally is playing the game. Like, I love playing the game of content creation, and how do I grow, and how do I do this, and how do I do that, and like analyzing my thumbnails on YouTube. Why did this thumbnail perform? Why didn't this thumbnail perform? Why did this title perform? Why didn't this title perform? Where's the audience retention curves? Like, I like I like that. I like the mental gymnastics of what that is. I feel like that makes me a better person when I have something like that to chew on and work on and try to get better at. So like all those things together provide a truly rewarding experience out of something that I wouldn't do. You know what I mean? It's like, would you make burgers every day if you didn't work at McDonald's? No. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
freaking no. You know what I mean? So it's like, I would play video games a lot, but I probably wouldn't spend 5,000 hours playing one video game. Some people do.
Yeah,
that's
so-
fine. I'm just like,
Now there is to contrast that on the other side, because I already know this is going to get like conflated, and there are people that are going to misunderstand because there was a time where if I wasn't streaming Tarkov, I'd still be playing Tarkov. There was a time, for me at least, where it was like, the reason why I started streaming is because I'm like, I'm going to be playing Tarkov anyway. I might as well have some community, have some fun, entertain people, and make some money while I'm doing it.
mm-hmm.
Now, that was great, right? Then there was a time where it was like, I probably wouldn't be playing Tarkov if I wasn't streaming. But that doesn't mean I'm not enjoying myself, and it's not like I'm not being disingenuous. There's a whole, they're not mutually exclusive. And it's not, it's if you, the whole idea that like, if you wouldn't do this if you weren't streaming, that doesn't mean that you're only doing it for the money, or you're only doing it for,
doesn't mean you hate it.
There's just a lot more.
And I would
There's a lot more
absolutely
to it.
play Tarkov, just not every day for, you know what I mean? Like I stream 7 streams a week. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't play it that much if I wasn't streaming. I would, of course I'd still play it and I'd still follow it. I enjoy the game, but yeah, it's crazy because it's not something I feel like streamers tend to even hide. It's just this, people just like have these weird notions about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I fell in love with New World. I was talking about it every podcast. Dude, I was like, bro, I've been playing New World. Like I loved it.
Game.
Yeah, I mean, for real though. I stopped playing that game well before it died because my audience didn't like it. Nobody was showing up. And that weighed down on me. People are like, just play the game that you like. And it's like, well, there's parts of it of like, I have 2 children and playing the game you like doesn't necessarily put food on the table.
You got 1,000 people all saying, bro, play the game you like. We're here for you. You switch games and all of a sudden you've got 64 viewers. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And so like, so there's that, but then there's also the like, once again, part of it for me is playing the game and I want to learn, I want to grow, and I do want to dip into more variety stuff, but I want to do it in a way that keeps people entertained and engaged. And I didn't want to play New World. You know what I mean? I didn't want to stream New World to 37 people. So I played it quite a bit offline with Seal and some of the homies, and I stopped playing it online. And I told people that. People asked me, like, the few people that were like digging it, they're like, yo, when's the next New World stream? I'd be open about it. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not really vibing with everybody. So we'll sit back on Tarkov. And it's like,
but if it was the greatest game of all time, you might be willing to stream it for 30 people.
For sure.
Yeah. So there's a spectrum. There's like a spectrum. My enjoyment, and then as a content creator, strategically, and money, and what do I need in my life and my family, and there's so much to it.
100%. And that's, and like, I don't know. I just don't get why it's weird. And like people think that's weird. It's different for everybody. It's different for literally everybody. What are the external factors in your life? How much money are you making? What is your audience size? What do you like? I know people, like a great example of this is like some of the like #1 advice for new streamers is like, people are always like, don't turn your viewer count on. Like it distracts you. Like don't show how many people. I've heard so many people say that. I've heard so many streamers say that.
I've never been able to do that, to be honest.
Really? And I've never one time in my entire life streamed without my viewer count on. It's just, it just doesn't do for me what it does for other people. It helps, it relieves them. It helps them be like, yes, I don't have to worry about it. My chat, I can engage with my chat. It would do the exact opposite for me. It would stress me the out, not knowing where I'm standing, not knowing if some of the things I've been implementing are working, not knowing if I'm heading in the right direction or the wrong direction, what to change. And it's not wrong for you to do that. And it's not wrong for me to not want to do it. It's not wrong for
Now,
you
one
to
side, everything is one size fits all,
it's
dude.
not wrong for you to like gain joy out of playing Trackmania for less viewers than when you play Tarkov. It's not wrong for me to continue playing Tarkov and finding ways to enjoy it, even if I wouldn't do it 80 hours a week of Tarkov outside. And it's not wrong for Johnny to stream Tarkov, even if he really hates it, if it's putting money on the table. It's like, you're the viewer. You are in ultimate control over the content you consume. Why are you going into people's streams telling them, stop playing this game if you don't want to? Stop watching it. It's infinitely easier. You're like, you have the power. There's more content on this earth than there's ever been. Just watch stuff you like.
Bro,
Oh my God.
Because everybody knows the answer to everything. They have all of the information. They're all tapped in to the source. They think they know better than you. Because they're able to, they go and they see insert streamer here, do X strategy here. No, actually, not even X strategy. They see this streamer playing this game with this outcome.
Yeah.
And then they assume 900 other things, why they did it, what was the strategy, if there was a strategy, if it matters, what their financial situation is, what their mental health is, all these other things. And then they think that from all that information that they have and don't have, that they can then extrapolate the how and the why and the what and the what'll happen in the future and everything. And the hubris. These are the people that post on Facebook, you're the reason why everything's wrong with America, and you're blah blah blah, and I know all this other that is so obvious to me, and everybody knows everything. They're all experts until someone who actually knows what they're talking about and is an expert tells them exactly how they're wrong. And I already know that people are assuming I'm talking about me. The thing that just came to my mind was I went down a funny rabbit hole. I was sitting there on Maui, the beach of Maui, and getting my sunburnt, and I had some YouTube videos playing, in my earbuds while I'm just tanning, drinking my Mai Tai on the beach after a long day of ATVing through the goddamn Hawaiian jungles.
Damn.
And all of a sudden I ended up on like a 3-hour long PhD physicists versus flat earther debate in the biggest air quotes you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And that right there is essentially like 98% of Twitch chatter tells content creator what to do. Just they don't know what they don't know, and they have the hubris to think that they have all of the information. And like I can't wait. All of the people that on me for playing Trackmania for 60 people when I could play Tarkov for 600. I can't wait when, and granted, there's 9 million paths along this infinitely complex, future timeline that we could possibly be in. But a year from now, when I'm, at X viewers or subscribers on YouTube, making X content on whatever channel that is, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm doing it, I'm going to be succeeding at it. Now, success is my definition of success, whatever I'm aiming for. It's not anybody else's definition of success. If my viewer number is ever lower than it ever was, you're a failure. If that's what you want to think, that's what you, by all means, think that. But switching over games, killing my viewership and making a whole bunch of variety content is completely scuffing my, until 3 years from now when I'm known as a variety guy and have a bajillion viewers and I'm doing Asmongold XQC for 1 million people RP. Those people aren't going to be around to be like, oh, you know what, I was wrong. All of the people that told all of those other people all of the mistakes they were making because they think that they know. Or maybe I'll still be playing Trackmania or some other game for 75 people.
Maybe they'll fix Tarkov.
And you know what? The reason
Copium.
why, yeah, and the reason why it doesn't matter to me, because those people don't know my financial situation. You know, the fact that the goals I have, or the stresses I have, or the requirements I have, none of it is the same as what it would be for them.
Yeah.
Or insert their favorite millionaire streamer.
Yeah.
Here, right? Like, but if you just want to assume that every content creator is doing it to maximize views and maximize money,
Yeah.
well, then everybody's a failure other than XQC and Amaranth.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
But think of all of the million things that I could do to infinitely increase the. I could put ads on Battle Buddy tomorrow. I have almost 800,000 downloads.
You know why?
And there's no monetization. And you know what? I don't care. So the moment anybody says I'm failing because I could make more money and I'm not, you're an idiot.
I open Battle Buddy every day, like to check an ammo or whatever live. And dude, it's so funny you said that. Like 3 days ago, I was like, doesn't he have a counter on how many people have installed it? And I clicked the thing and I saw like 780,000 Battle Buddies. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I had no idea, bro. That's nuts.
Yeah, imagine if I charged 99 cents for it.
Yeah, or freaking put ads in it or do whatever. Oh my God. I could not believe it. I was like, dang.
But, you know, for me, it's to get a penny out of a dollar out of a bunch of people would be cost prohibitive for enough young kids or whoever who just don't have the means to pay $1. And the ads would be, as someone who hates ads myself, but who doesn't want to be a hypocrite, it would be just as annoying to have to deal with ads or whatever. So I'm just not going to do it because I'm not motivated by money. Other people are. But again, I'm fortunate. I'm in a different, completely different scenario, a different situation than Jesse or anybody else. I don't have kids. I don't have, my mortgage is next to nothing. I had spent 10 years as an engineer. My wife is a pharmacist. She makes more money than I do now. I might as well be the stay-at-home cat dad. Like, it just doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But my decisions would be insane for 98% of every other streamer. I would be, if I had multiple kids and loans and a mortgage that was not, you know, way less than the average and nothing in savings, and I was the breadwinner, the decisions I would be making would be the most selfish, f***ed up, irresponsible decisions ever.
Yeah.
But I'm in a position where it doesn't matter to me. But again, that's why whenever anybody's like, look at what this person does this, they should do this. Jesse, you should play this game. You shouldn't care. You should play whatever, dude. You shouldn't worry about the money or this. Dude. It's once again, people just need to stop
spitting facts, dude. And to so many people, just existing is offensive.
Yeah.
Just the fact that you exist, that you worked hard at a different time of your life, that you got opportunities. Maybe you got opportunities handed to you out of pure luck. Maybe you worked for some opportunities. Maybe a combination of those things. You worked and you saved and you married somebody that also,
$1 million.
That also worked hard, and you guys bought a house at a perfect time. Like, and like cosmically, you're here. And your just existence is frustrating and offensive. No, I'm not saying you specifically, but like people, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's how we are at we look around and so much it's so frustrating. And like, I mean, literally, this exact difference here, like your perspective versus, you know, me coming out of a bunch of failed businesses. I got married when I was 19. We started a bunch of business, dude. 4 years ago, we were on food stamps. We were on Medicaid. It was like children. We're like, oh my God. And it's like, I make different decisions, and it's like your definition of success, my definition of success is different. And that's like, okay. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's unreal. And people can't handle like a measured response. Like, it has to be so binary. It has to be all or nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've noticed that more and more doing the podcast, because like I will be very critical about the game and about the systems of the game. And like we will go for 2 hours at a time, and I'll be like, yeah, this sucks. This is brutal. But then I'll go play the game, and it's like people will tell me that I'm one way or that I'm thinking a certain way. Like, they tell me, and it's like people can't comprehend that. People can't comprehend that, like, criticism about something that I love and enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, I am having fun playing Escape from Tarkov, but I'm also not unwilling to be like, this is super busted. It was better this way, or it should be better this way, or whatever. And like that, having any sort of like measured response, any sort of like, it just freaks people out, dude. And it's so weird.
Dude,
and
the
it's
most
so
obvious,
frustrating.
The most obvious surface level first thing that comes to people's mind is the first thing that they type and they say and they stick to it.
Yeah.
They don't want to think. They don't like it's amazing to me how many people come in and talk about my viewer numbers compared to Pestily. And it's like, you realize, like, they don't even realize that they're like living vicariously through somebody.
Oh man. Yeah.
Like, and the thing I want to say, and I say like 2% of the time, but it's like, who the are you? How many followers do you have? Like, if Pestily were to say the thing that you just said to me, they would be right, and they would be and everybody would lose respect for him, whatever. But instead, you're doing it vicariously through them.
Yeah.
They don't even realize how sad and depressing that is.
Dude, the amount
how sad and depressing is it that you're talking comparing A to B when you're not even in the alphabet.
Yeah, you're not even Z, bro. You're just like,
and you think that's like an insult.
It's crazy, dude. Just... No, for real. The amount of times recently I have said that, I've been like that's an instant. You just get people to be ashamed of themselves if you point that out. It's like, because sometimes you get swept up in it, and I'm arguing with the person, and then you'll just stop and you'll be like, you care about that more than I do. Like, what do you do for a living? Like, why do you care about it? Like, what's it mean to you, buddy? Like, open up to me. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and then it's like shame. It's like, oh, that's embarrassing that I like, but it's crazy. Yeah, it is unreal. It's like, why do you care about my viewership, or why do you care about how much I'm enjoying playing the game more than you? It's crazy, dude.
And in every universe, the end result is amazing in every universe, because it's like, okay, let's say if you want to look at me and say I'm a failed streamer, content creator, because I'm playing a game for money, or because I'm playing a game and making no money, or whatever, or like you fell off, right? Like, you look at your trajectory and now you're down here, like that's a failure. Okay, by all means think that. I want to see you climb.
Yeah.
So imagine I said that. That's basically like a challenge, right? It's like, you do it and then talk to me. But then imagine they do it. Imagine they, a year from now, are at 100,000 viewers and they're like, I'm a millionaire. Now come back into my chat and say, I did it. Look at me. Now it's like, well, now you have just demonstrated that you're an arrogant, full of yourself piece of condescending, rude. Like, it's even worse if you've done it.
If you accepted the challenge and did the thing. Yeah. Dude.
Because anybody, any content creator would recognize that saying they're saying, dude, what happened to all your viewers? A content creator saying that would be 1,000 times worse than just some random viewer.
Yeah.
But they would have like context and knowledge. They would just be but you're and you have no context or knowledge, which makes it's even better. Yeah. It's even better.
Yeah. It's like a really weird, like, live interactable content is so interesting, because when you think about it, like, we as a human race have been practicing this for years, in our living rooms with our jerseys on, being like, oh my God, like, I can't, like, why didn't you shoot there? Why didn't you pass there? Like, I can't believe you still like, criticizing actors or roles or like all this stuff. But this medium, this like direct to, like, they just, like you said, that first thought, that exclamation when so-and-so misses the game-winning shot, where you're like, oh my God, you suck. they don't just say that into the ether and have it disappear. They type it and tell it to that person to their face. And then they're so surprised. And then they have to, like you said, retroactively back it up and dig their heels deeper and deeper so they don't seem like an idiot. And it's like, it's crazy.
Dude, I have
It's crazy.
someone just asked, I don't know why people try to pitch streamers against each other. It's not even that. They're not even trying to do that. They're unknowingly living vicariously through other people. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Like, I've been trying to figure out what. So while I was gone, I was thinking a lot about content ideas and trying to figure out, like, what do I want to do next? You know, like, do I want to make a couple more Trackmania documentaries? Do I have I listened to the first like three seasons of the podcast Serial.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to that.
I don't listen to it, but I'm aware of Serial. Yeah.
You should. They're very good.
Yeah.
But and then I also was listening to a few other ones that were like, some of them are like true crime adjacent. Some of them are kind of sociological stuff. I listened to a lot of Radiolab and Reply All, although Reply All is pretty much done now. And the thing that I'm in a weird place where, like, this is one of the very few periods of time where I'm like, you know what, I just don't feel super compelled to do anything right now, which is great because I've been doing 8 million things.
Yeah.
80 bajillion hours a week every week for 4 years, you know, so it's like it feels kind of good to just like not want to do anything right now.
For sure.
But
I get that. Yeah.
But I have an idea for something that, let's just say it's like adjacent to that whole like documentary true crime, but not true crime, but like sociology, but like content creators stream to it. I have an idea for something that I'm interested in, and I'm gonna consider pursuing, and you know, just like all the other things, I don't know how many other things I've been like, I want to do this and I want to do that. And people are like, yeah, and then next week I'm like, never mind. I lost interest, and that's another one of the benefits of me being in the position I'm in, where I can just do whatever the I want, and that's okay. And that's, you know, it sucks for the people that I get hyped about some of the things I'm thinking about. But part of content creation for me is talking about some of the ideas I have, kind of sprinkling some like
for sure
spoilers of the ideas and seeing
if
how people
are interested.
Respond.
Absolutely.
And then using that to like gauge, you know, interest. And also when people get excited and they ask me about it, then that makes me more excited, which makes me more interested in doing it and working on writing scripts and stuff. So yeah, I've got a couple of ideas that I think might be a little bit different from some stuff I've done before, but
that's dope.
Yeah, we'll see. I have a little outline, super high level, that at the moment I'm not up 12 hours into the night writing the script just yet.
Yeah.
I might be.
Soon.
I'm close.
There's a threshold. You feel that way? Like there comes this subconscious threshold where I've put enough work into it, and now it's just like you just fall off the cliff. It's like
you're a bunch of snowballs at the top of a hill, and once you push one off,
one is gonna go, and then you're gonna find yourself 3 weeks into being up until 2 a.m. Yeah, but it's like you can kind of start a few of those snowballs, knowing that you haven't pushed them off the hill yet. Yeah.
So I don't know. I've got some ideas, and we'll see. You know.
Yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope.
But I'm fascinated by the world of the internet and like Twitch and YouTube content creator stuff, and the relationship on the other side. You know, not just like the parasocial relate, but I think that there's a story to be told there that nobody's telling, and would be interesting but it's complicated, and you know, figuring out if I want to be the guy to
Yeah,
tell
yeah, yeah.
this story, and if I'm even like the right one, and then also trying to figure out how not to taint it with my own
Like bias
cynical
or
uh
experience.
yeah, I don't know.
I feel you.
I've been listening to some stuff, watching a lot of stuff. Like I was saying, some of those podcasts and other on YouTube that we've talked about before, and just trying to take little bits,
Yeah,
you know, here and there.
for sure.
I don't know. I'm just rambling on at this.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. No, I feel you. I'm just deep in the Tarkov grind and just doing this stuff and trying to grow and do things, and things are going good. And I don't know, it's just like we said, like I said, for me right now, the experience around like Tarkov is like the foundation of the experience of streaming, of interacting with people, of making content. You know what I mean? Like that's the anchor of everything. You know what I mean? For me, it's like that's where I'm getting my ideas for the videos that I want to do. And I'm trying to like, I'm actually working on something right now. Like, I'm working on my first like video that is Tarkov related, but that I made that like a piece of content I made for YouTube. Does that make sense? Like my highlight videos are just like the content from Twitch distilled in a funny way that keeps the attention of a YouTube audience, right? And then my guides are content specifically made for YouTube, but less for like specific entertainment, but more for like obviously educating and stuff like that. But like I had an idea, and we did a big thing on stream, but like I had an idea, and I was like, I want to make this YouTube video. How do I do that? And so we did like a community night, and it's like this whole thing. And so that's been like a really fun thing for me, a fun experience for me to like create. I want to, because it's so different. Like I feel like a live stream is often very reactionary. I just go live, and then like something crazy happens, and I like I'm like, oh, this like that fight was nuts, or I lean into it, or I try and make it, and then we can make that into content. But to actually like have an idea for a video that maybe includes some sort of narrative or something, not like a movie with a script or anything, but like an idea, then go execute on getting that footage and editing it, and then posting that as a video idea. That's kind of new for me in this space.
Interesting. So how does that differ though from a guide?
I guess it's just a larger scale with the expressed intention of being entertaining.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like a guide.
I'm intrigued.
A guide for me is 9 out of 10 times a guide for me is a one take. I just sit down in front of the camera. I just say everything, and then I overlay.
Nice.
And then I just overlay. I mean, seriously, like, and that's a great example. Think about your guides versus my guides. Like you think about your like, and a great example of that would be like your not Welcome to Tarkov, Getting Tarkov series. Like I've never done that. I've made two types of videos on my channel by and large. I sent a bunch of clips to my brother, and he makes a highlight video for me, and it's dope, and I freaking love them. Or I sit down and I go, the RD704 is new and it's sick. And I write down, you know, how much it costs, and I do a little bit of research, and then I just look at the camera and I talk for 10 minutes. I edit it down to 8 because I messed up a few times, and I overlay some clips of me shooting with the RD704. And I genuinely think that's a good piece of content because it's easy for me to make. I've really I used to be very, very talkative. I used to be 20-minute videos. I've refined it into like, this is the information. This is the information presented in a good way. It's presented in a way that keeps your attention. Like I've learned from the algorithm. I know what thumbnail is going to be relatively clickable, and like music and all these things. And like, so it's good information. It's quick, and it's just that. And like, that is a good piece of content. But I haven't made a Getting Tarkov video or Z-Chum's Parasite video or Rust code locks are broken. I haven't like done that. You know what I mean? Like those two types of content are so different. And so I'm trying to branch out and do more, I guess, stuff with more intentionality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to that.
So
I'm because I enjoy all the content that you make. So
yeah, and it's not that I don't want to stop making that type of content. It's just like I want to grow and do something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, and yeah.
That makes that kind of brings something to mind here. That now that I feel like the last like hour has been us just being like super candid and just like just saying all the. But one of the things that I've been conscious of in a lot of the content that I've been making recently, and it's like trying to figure out if I want to lean more towards what I've been doing or away from that even. One of the biggest criticisms I get often, although it's still in the minority of the feedback I get about my videos, is just like, you say so much, you know, you could have said, you could have done this, and, you know, this video is an hour long, it could have been 8 minutes, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so take that, the whole idea of you say all this stuff, it's superfluous, it's, you know, it's extra, you know, why use many words when
few
small,
word
do trick, you know?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. And then also, so put that in slot number 1.
Yeah.
Slot number 2 is the fact that there are a lot of really successful content creators that can not just do guides, but tell stories.
Yeah.
But there's like different ways of doing it. Like there are videos that I've seen that are video essays that like they tell these stories and that you get all the emotional arc of like the climax and then like the finale, that kind of. And some people do that in an hour long or a 90-minute video, and it's amazing. Some people can do a video essay and tell a story in 20 minutes. That's like, wow, that was like, it was really. And it's hard to know what's better.
Dude.
There are YouTubers that will do either, that will get 10 million views and whatever. You could argue that like some of the things that I've done that got 100,000 views, maybe if I could have done it more condensed, you know, in 20 minutes, maybe it would have been more accessible and would have gone wider spread, but maybe it might not have
said what you wanted it to say.
It might not have said all of the. Dude, yeah, so I'm throwing all this stuff out there. So then with all that in mind, think about how many guides there are that just tell you the things.
Yeah.
But there's no analysis. It might as well be, it's an entertaining, bright, flashy visual and auditory way of sharing a wiki page with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say these 7 bullet points with some cool music, some cool videos and whatever. And those do really well. And people are like, great, there was a lot of stuff really quickly. Oh my God, great. But it was like part of me, and this is like no shade at anybody, because there's clearly, I mean, the algorithm demonstrate this, that there's like the most of the demand is for that.
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, I will say that like, it's funny how half the comments I get are like, it's amazing the depth and the detail and the analysis that you know, Veritas, you have in your video that you can't get anywhere else. And then a bunch of the other feedback is, what's with all this extra vestigial analysis that nobody cares about? You should have just left it out. That will never deter me from doing that analysis and the opinion and whatever it is. There's an interesting like kind of middle ground where it's like, I'm sure that I could take a 45-minute video and probably could have done it in 29 minutes or something, right? Like, but I guess, and I'm just like thinking out loud, I don't even know if I really have a point, but I do not get. And everybody's different. Everybody has different preferences, and you know, that's fine. Like there are some people like sugar-free Coke Zero, some people like Diet Coke, some people like caffeine-free Diet Coke, like my dad, because he's weird. Some people just want Coke. Some people like Pepsi. I don't know, right? But like I don't care for the content that's just like, let me tell you. When I watch most of the guides, the Tarkov guides, it's You've told me nothing. I've learned nothing. If I had played the game and just paid attention and not had one hand on TikTok, the other hand in my pants while I was playing the game, like I was actually just being a thoughtful, purposeful, intelligent human paying attention to while playing the game, this is all obvious.
Yeah.
But some people, but when if you make a video like that, I feel like 98% of the people are going to be, this was great, thank you so much. And it's like,
yeah,
there's some, I feel like there's a demand for, let me tell you the that most of it you already know, but I'm just going to do it in
you want to know why? Or at least my small take on why is because there's too much. See, and somebody said that's the problem with being intelligent. I don't think it's fair. I totally get your analogy, and I think it's funny, and you weren't saying this, but it's not fair to say those people aren't intelligent. It's not fair to say the people that consume that content.
All I'm saying is they're all dumb, and I'm 175 IQ. That's all I know.
I mean, I saw it in chat, and I was like, no, that's not where Veritas is going. I think part of it, at least for me, because I consume a lot of that type of content, and I consume a lot of the analytical. Like you and me have talked about like video essay channels. Like you put me on some of Jacob, what was his name? Collier? Oh my God. Like some of that,
not Jacob Collier, not Jacob.
It was something with a G. Yeah, I don't remember.
Jacob Geller. Yep.
And tons of stuff like that. And I can go deep. I've watched 3-hour videos on Jack and Daxter. Like I love the analysis, but I also love the quick hit. And it's because I feel addicted to information. I just want to know more. I'll find myself watching build guides for like World of Warcraft, even though I have absolutely no interest in playing that game.
Same.
And when I'm in that mode, I just want the 8-minute. Why is the warrior class better than the mage class? Boom, 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 boom. I'm never going to play it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that everybody that engages that type of content. I just think there's so much information out there that's the doorway. That's the stepping stone. And Veritas, if we're talking candidly here, this is the master plan, bro, is that if I can build the doorway and Narnia on my channel, I think I might be successful. Is if I can
get everyone sub to low common denominator.
yeah, basically. Do you know what I mean, though? Is that if I can be viewed as, because then I will. I
did it too soon, man.
If I go back for more of something that I learned about, and I see the guy's video that gave me that quick hit info, and he did an hour-long video on it, easy click. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think there's so much information out there. I think that's part of it. Going back, because I want to rewind, because I have thoughts. You were saying, like, what's better, a 2-hour video essay or a 20-minute video essay? And it's like, dude, it's crazy. Do you ever found yourself like, I love television. I think we're in the golden age of television. And it's like,
okay, ultimate hot take I've ever heard from you, but continue.
What do you mean? I mean, like the past like 20 years. I'm not saying like right now. I mean, just like as over the past like decade with streaming services and more budgets going to TV and more things going long in seasons. Like I feel like I include Breaking Bad in that. Like Breaking Bad is like one of the greatest TV shows of all time. What Jesus Christ, you guys are weird. We'll come back to that then. Do you ever?
So when you say television, I'm thinking just like cable, and I haven't had cable in a decade.
No, I'm saying TV shows, Netflix, HBO Max. I'm saying TV shows.
Well, Netflix isn't television though.
Okay.
You got to be careful because you say television. I'm picturing the when you say television.
Oh my God.
That's a TV that's at least 2 feet deep, front to back. Okay, you don't watch television on a flat screen. Okay. You watch TV. Television, it has antennas.
All right. Jesus Christ.
You say the word television.
I apologize.
You enunciate.
We are in the golden age of content that's not a movie.
Of entertaining media.
That's not a movie. That's why I said TV. I'm specifically talking about shows that run in seasons and episodes as opposed to movies.
I was picturing like, dude, have you watched Channel 29?
Have you seen the new ShamWow commercials, bro?
Dude, I can't wait till Friday night at 7 when the next episode comes out.
Yeah.
That's television.
I mean that in the sense of like, do you ever find yourself I have decided to not watch movies because I don't feel like I don't feel like it's enough. Like 90 minutes, a whole story, no shot. You know what I mean? And I'll just watch an episode of a TV show. This has got 11 seasons. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but then there are TV shows you get super hyped up about, and they're terrible. And it's like, this should have been a movie. Why did I watch that for 11 hours? You know, season 1 was 11 hours. That all could have happened in 90 minutes. And that, I feel like, goes back to your thing, is it's like, it really depends on the content and the creator and how they can tell that story. You know what I mean? Like, because some content just feels like it needs to be 3 hours long. Some content feels like it needs to be 2 hours or 20 minutes long. And it's a super weird dynamic. And like back to your point, it's impossible for you to know if something would have done better if you did it in 20 minutes as opposed to an hour, or if it would have done better if it had been 3 hours as opposed to an hour, or if it did the best that it could have done exactly how you did it. It's just hard. It's so hard to know. And every creator, every piece of content is going to be different. I will say, though, to what you said about like analysis, right? Like, there's no analysis out there that does well. Like that.
Well, no. It's
Not
clear,
no analysis that does well. You were talking about like guides and how there's nothing really analytical in them, or at least the ones that the algorithm pushes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a little. No, God, that wasn't quite what I was getting at, because there are plenty of, you know, this. It's the same thing with video essays. There are plenty of channels with 20-minute video essays that do great. Then there are plenty of channels like either my main channel or my second channel where I have hour and a half long video essays that I think are worthy of 1 million views, and they're not. And, you know, you be the judge of why that's the case, my dear listener. But then there are other people who make 2-hour video essays that get 8 million views, and it's like, you know, so it's not that. It's not exactly what I was saying.
I'm referencing when you were talking about guides and how, like, I had said that I've refined my style of guide down to like, here's just the information. And you were like, that doesn't do it for me because I don't feel like there's any analysis in there. And you're like, where are those videos? Where are the guides that include analysis? Where is the educational content that's farther than, that takes it a step further than just like, here's the gun, here's the stats, here's why it's good, buy it, boom, done. You know what I mean? Like, I immediately pulled up on another tab your Anatomy of a Firefight series. And like, I remember loving those and watching those. It was like a huge inspiration for my Beyond the Grave kind of stuff. And like, it's funny because looking back, like that's education and analysis, right? Like, that's not like, here's this gun and here's why it's important, but like, you're educating through analysis of like, here's what happened here. Here's what I thought. Here's the mistake I made. Here's what I could have done differently. And A, some of those videos did well. And B, I think in hindsight, like, kind of smashing both together and learning to play to the algorithm with titles and thumbnails and having that type of content, like, I think that video, that content could crush and could do really well. So I just found that interesting because that just immediately brought me back.
That's a good example too. That's the epitome of like the contrasting input length to output length. Like, it's a 14-second fight that I turn into a 30-minute video.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where, you know, and people just want to be like, dude, just tell us. Like, why does it have to be so long? Do you want me to just be like, this is good because I quick peeked him, shot him in the head, and killed him? And there are some people that like want that, and fine, great. It's just I'm not the channel for that. You want a graphics guide? Every other graphics guide out there tells you this setting at worst will say, put this setting on max, put this setting on min, put this setting on max, put this setting on min, and you'll be good to go. And all of the people that it's not one size fits all.
No, they have a different monitor.
Half of the people that it works for, they're like, this is amazing, you're a god. Oh my God, you're a genius. And then the other half, they're like, and they might leave a comment, or they might just not say anything and go watch another guide.
Yeah.
And then when I do my guide, I say, I'm not going to tell you what the setting is. I'm going to tell you what they do so you can make up your own mind. And naturally, I'm okay with the fact that that doesn't perform well because it's not what it's like a mother feeding you vegetables. Nobody's going to like that. And I get it. Some people later on in life is going to say, you know what, Mom, thank you for that. because you just added 15 years to my lifespan
Yeah.
and, you know, whatever. I guess that's me. I'm eating vegetables and, you know, all the other content out there is just
Your mommy.
Skittles and you know, M&Ms and chocolate bars and whipped cream and syrup, you know. But
Yep.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't get like. And again, this is no shade at anybody that makes that content, because there's a demand and some people are good at that, and like. Now, granted, I have content. One of, if not the best performing video I have, I don't know, it's probably top 3, is the I take 2 thick item cases into factory during the scav raider event in factory. This is before the wait system and everything, and I just fill 2 thick item cases.
Yeah, this
There's
is
no
second
commentary.
most viewed video.
I hit record. No face cam. It's just raw, you know, kind of immersive gameplay, and then there's the outro. Yeah, and then there's literally no work, and that, you know, is the closest to 1 million views of any of the videos. So like, I mean, it's not like I'm above low effort content. It's not about effort, you know, so much as it's about communicating, sharing something.
Yeah.
Like you could theoretically, you could put 2 hours into an edit of a guide that was like a regurgitation of like a wiki page. And to me, that would be less valuable and less value than even that video. Because if you watch that video, you'll learn a lot about Tetris and looting and whatever. I don't know. All of this is just to say that, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
I get it.
This is just something I'm always trying to like think of and understand how, like, I can watch a video that's 25 minutes that I can be like, that was a fantastic story, and it was 25 minutes. Like, for me, I can't tell anything in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
the thing that I'm learning about YouTube is like, it's all, there's 2 battles. And battle 1 is all title and thumbnail. And then battle 2 is retention, right? And so it's like, you could have an amazing video with super high retention and a bad title and thumbnail, and it won't crush. You can have a really great title and thumbnail and then have a video that's terrible, and that's most often clickbait. And then those videos sometimes do well because of how much weight is on title and thumbnail. But like, it just comes down to that. It's like, are you willing to play the game in those areas around any type of content you want to make? Even if you want to make once again, I watched a 3-hour long video on Jack and Daxter, and it had 1 million views. And so it's not to say that long content is bad, and it's not to say that niche content is bad. It's just that, like, there's some combination of retention, thumbnail, title that makes that work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, my rant is, obviously I didn't know where I was going with it. So it's no wonder that it went nowhere. I just literally said 2 + 2 = 4. Therefore, 2 + 2 equals the sum of 2 + 2.
I mean,
so I'm saying a whole lot of nothing, but like, I guess I care. My point is less about like performance and more about being like creatively. I want to make content.
Yeah.
That makes, I'm like creatively fulfilled.
Yep.
That is also like entertaining and also like efficient and also like, I want to be a good communicator of information and storyteller. And there's just like a lot to that. And the vast majority of YouTube out there, it is like the antithesis of that. And there's just so much that I'm trying to like learn.
Yeah.
From all of the good examples.
Yeah. from all the people that have been able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm delirious after
Dude,
all this travel.
I really
and my
am tracking with you, man. I really am. And I see it, and I know that about you, and I saw that through some of the Tarkov videos you made. I saw it through the speed running stuff you made. Like dude, I get it, man. I get it. It's a weird thing creating content that to balance those things. Basically exactly what you just said. Balance something that's just like truly fulfilling and inspiring to you. But you like, you can't as a content creator ignore what you think would this perform well, or would this perform well? Would this be better? Would this be better? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's that mixture of things that's like so hard to just understand and balance. And
yeah, you have like I make content and I'm like proud of it and it stands alone, and I'm like, I don't care how many views it gets, but at the same time it's like I want people to see it.
yeah.
So like if I wanted to make a guide or an analysis that I think would help people or inspire people or whatever, I want everyone to see it, not for the money or the views or the clout or whatever,
but for it to be an effective thing.
Yeah, if I want to educate people,
it can't be effective.
Why would I want to educate 7 people instead of 1 million people?
Yeah.
But then you have the idea of like some of the things you could do to make it more appealing might be reducing some of that quality. There's the quality knob, right? Take the quality knob, turn it down, and that there's some knob that is related to quality over here that then increases the views over here. Not every knob is like, some knobs are quality up, views up, right?
Yep.
But there are so many that like that aren't.
Yep.
That would you make imagine making a video that said half as much of the value it communicated, but it would get 10 times the viewership. It's like the greater good. Like overall, there's more. You've given, 5x what the gross value would be, right? Because you're given $5 to 1,000 people rather than $1 to 500 or whatever.
Yep.
So it's like trying to figure out. I don't know. I'm still saying nothing.
But I hear you, and I'm tracking with you, and I know that I don't know where you're going, but I understand. I understand.
I just need Mr. Beast to be like, oh, this guy makes, dude, he makes great content and doesn't get the views he deserves. Let me just shout him out, and then also I'll tell XQC to react to it, and Admin Gold to react to it, and all these other guys, and then and then everybody will see all my content, and
boom.
Here you go.
That's it.
Or I can just like find someone to make me better content, or I could just take like $100,000 in cash and go hire somebody to edit all this for me, and I won't have to do anything. And then I can make $10 million, and I won't have to do anything, and then I won't have to. And then I can go like write a book that nobody will buy.
There it is on the beach in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm ready for bed.
Yep. No, I feel you. Well, that really went down a place.
We just dug a massive hole, and I was like, and then you were like, you just helped me dig this massive hole, and you're like, all right, cool, dude. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna put like an in-ground pool? I'm like, I don't know, dude. And then I just start filling the hole in with the dirt that I just dug up. I'm like, I don't know. I just was digging.
I was just messing.
I just felt like running.
Dude, sometimes that's a great secondary analogy too. I feel like a lot of times in the podcast, we start and we're like, I only have a few things on the list. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We end 8 feet deep in a hole, and we both get the feeling at the same time, like this is where the podcast should end. And like, I feel like I'm looking up out of the hole, like at chat again.
We're
I'm
both
like
standing there covered in dirt with shovels. Like, what?
Dude, yes, dude. And I'm
where
like,
were we going? What were we doing?
And I'm just like, how do I land this plane now? I just go, well,
this is what you're all here for. I hope you enjoy the hole. boys. See you later.
Thanks for hanging.
Thanks for coming into my hole, chat.
Dude.
Creamcast. Welcome to my hole.
Welcome to the hole. So yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, no, dude, I loved it. But I'm like, all right, so thanks for hanging. Oh man. But yeah. You've been watching that Hot D?
I saw that in the list. You just wrote Hot D in all caps, and I'm trying to figure out like there wasn't. I thought you stopped typing halfway through, like you got distracted. Is there something called Hot D? What the are you talking about?
Yeah, it's what some people are calling House of the Dragon. I was waiting for somebody to put it in chat. Yeah, House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones TV show. It's set.
What?
It's a new TV show set in the universe of Game of Thrones. It's about the House Targaryen. It's based on a book from George R. R. Martin. Anyways, it's another Game of Thrones show, and George R. R. Martin is heavily involved. And the first episode was amazing. But I just knew, I was just like, we don't have to talk about the TV show. I was just trying to figure out a way to put Hot D in our conversation. That was 90%.
You just wanted an intro.
I just wanted Hot D to be in the conversation. It's called House of the Dragon. So yeah.
I just spent 10 days in Hawaii watching exclusively Cops and Lost.
Nice.
So I'm living.
So you're ready for some Hot D's. What you're
I was
saying.
watching television while you were watching something else.
Yeah.
To see what that's all about.
Did you watch Game of Thrones? Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
And just like Lost, I'm not going to maul about the ending.
I will. I'm one of those nerds.
Yeah, the ending sucked, sure, but there's 8 billion episodes beforehand that were all good.
Oh
so
yeah, it's still the first 6 seasons.
It's just like sex. If you have like 9 hours, no, actually that's a bad example because
no, elaborate.
Never mind. I was just gonna say if you have like 9 hours of fantastic sex and then the ending is ruined. That is actually really disappointing.
You could have. The thing is you could have.
That's a really bad metaphor.
You could have said it because gamers don't have sex. They would have been like 9 hours. Is that what I should be prepping for?
They were like, Peepo G. Yep. Mm-hmm,
yeah,
yep.
Yeah.
Sex for 9 hours. Yes, I do that. Yes, I have done that.
I have totally also done that.
God, that's for the 7 of us here that have had sex before. You have kids, you can prove it. I guess I can't. You'll just have to take my word for it. 9 hours would be terrible. I'm just saying that does not sound like a good time. I'm out of breath.
Yeah,
thinking about it. Bad, dude.
No shot. No shot.
The equivalent here is if Game of Thrones was, if it finished before the first commercial break. But it was fantastic up until then.
There it is.
That's what it's like.
That's what it's like.
That's what it's like.
Wow. Wow.
Welcome to my hole.
Welcome to the hole. Dude, we should do like a... Oh, that would be funny. Dude, I actually need to message you about something. We need to talk about something. But unrelated. That'd be a funny like, you know how like a lot of times podcasts will sometimes have like additional shows. It's like, this is the like funny thing we do every few weeks. Like the hole would be a good one where like you and me just deep dive on some like super random topic.
The hole would be a good thing where you and I deep dive. Okay. Is this some like,
no, yes, it's exactly what you're thinking.
OnlyFans. You and I just get on a Discord call, take our pants off and deep dive in the hole.
Unrelated to sex, the hole would be something you and me could go deep. Never mind.
Is this another podcast or is this like a segment? What the are you on about?
Yeah, we'll message you.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
all right.
If you have some time, check out the Hot D. If you liked Game of Thrones, I believe you will like Hot D.
There's only one episode?
Yeah.
That talk to me when it's done. I don't want to watch one thing and then forget about it.
Yes, you do.
Until next week, where you're like, "Did you see episode 2?" I'm like, "Oh no, I forgot about it."
Yes, you do. Listen, it's Friday, right? Sunday's the next episode, so it's only a few days.
And then I gotta wait another week.
Yeah.
I'll be done with it before my stream's over
Yeah.
and be waiting for the next episode.
But it's worth it.
Okay, I'm just gonna Google hot D
Everybody needs
when my wife is walking
some
by.
hot D on a Sunday night. Well, if you made it this far, god dang, you are a degenerate. Why? No, I'm just kidding. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
you're a real one.
Yeah, you're a real one. Hot comment hot D in the YouTube video. If you made it.
If you made it this far, comment hot D69.
Oh God. But thank you guys for hanging. It was good to be back. We took a week off. V was on a vacay, and it's good. It's good. Thank you guys. I mean, seriously, we say it all the time, but thank you guys for the love. Thank you guys that you care about this and you enjoy the whole and all of it. So this will be live. It's Friday, which is throwing me off.
The whole with a W or without a W?
Yes.
Okay.
And this will be live on all the podcast platforms and on YouTube on Monday. Man, it does feel good to be back. Thank you guys for hanging, and we'll definitely see you on the next one.
Peace.